morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this YouTube. We're back with another day in the life video. Boiler servicing, radiator leaks, landlord's checks, the usual stuff, just a different day. Try and throw in some tips and tricks on the way and some questions, etc. Especially aimed at apprentices, probably. So yeah, let's get into it. One boiler, one hob. Tenant's complaining of having his top pressure up once a week, so we will check. Charging the vessel and have a quick look around the radiators for any leaks. Maybe some extra work, because we all need it. There's a question for you to answer in the comments. How many of you do a tightness test on a landlord's check? I do believe it's not compulsory, but don't quote me on that. Just wondering how many of you actually do it. So just finished that one now. I don't know about you guys, but normally after Christmas, January, it's normally quiet, which I've seen people online saying it's quiet, but for me it wasn't. It was absolutely mowed. I was mowed out. Probably the busiest January I've had in 11 years. But then as of last week, to the end of last week, and definitely this week, it's just dropped off. It is really quiet. Now, you're probably watching this after the week of half term, but next week for me is half term, so I'm not as fussed about not having much in for them because I spend time with my son, etc. But yeah, it's definitely gone quiet. And they've just reported today that today we are officially Friday the 10th in a recession. Yeah. Second job, just a routine service. I think she is 22 years old this time, 3 years old. No, 2 years old. It is one of my installs. I didn't put that. This is inside these 600 and 800 range. This is an 800. Got the same boiler and the main. You got brass hydro blocks. Stainless steel heat exchanger. It's a Gioni heat exchanger. Valence use them. I think Ideal use them. And obviously they were in the older Baxis. 8 litre expansion vessel. I think it's 8 anyway, it's 8 or 7. Grundfos pumps. Yeah. Really good boiler. Loads of space. Nice and easy to work on. That's why I love fitting them. On that note, I do think something was going to let it down in the future. It's going to be these boards. I don't know who makes the board. I just reckon it could be an issue. Next job, mega flow, unvented cylinder. Clients reported that the immersion here does not work. So we're just here basically to test it. Got that across the line and then neutral is the immersion here. No volts. 240. There is an overheat strip out. That isn't operated. What's it going to I think it's new thermostat. Sorry about that, I got cut off. I think I'm going to order up a new immersion heater, or at least a thermostat if I can. If I have to buy a whole thing, because obviously we're getting 240 to it, but they don't get hot water when it's switched on and the boiler's off. So a new immersion heater on that one. I'm sure you'll see it on another video. I've also got to service the it's a glowworm system boiler on this one. I'm here to service that as well. Love it. Next one we called out to. Client's overpressurised it, so it gets drained down, and that's where she wants it servicing. Maxi 105HE, the original bomb and a boiler. Not literally a bomb, I mean bomb proof. Quickest way to do this. Hose on the drain off. Not the way I'll do it one hand. Get my grips in. And do the drain off there. Because we're going to recharge a vessel anyway. It's not a problem that she's overpressurised it, so we'll be draining it off anyway. This is one to look out for. This condensate trap's obviously sitting better days, so we're advised that gets replaced. But if they do split and get water in here, the water causes these two cables to, I don't know how to explain it. It causes a connection between them two cables and the boiler just to lock out. Work hard, not smart. Work smart, not hard. I've just been sat here wondering, why the pressure? Is it going down? I guess she's overpressurised it. And the film loop's still open. On to the next one. Leak on a radiator, but it's got a ball fix valve on the pipework, and ball fixes on heating pipework. For some reason, they just don't work very well. But I've got a little chair next to the boiler. How convenient. It's a bit of a weird, it's like in the attic, but anyway, this is the culprit. Get that shut off. And that one. It's gonna be fun catching that, isn't it? Push the drip stopper inside it. Spin that. Amazon, all the way. Shout out to Smart Pipe Plumbing, because that's where that's the original person I've been to. Yeah, that held back alright. I have shut the flow and turn valves off to the boiler, even though I don't normally do on a battery. Or a best dad. To depress it. I think I should be able to get in and just change the whole piece. this off now. Hey. Press it up. And alive. Pissing out. Bunny. What was my job? That was harder than I thought. Really, I shouldn't have cut this length first and cut this pipe further back. Put the earth clamp back on. Well, I'll get it filled up. Test it, earth clamp back on. On to the next one. Well, I made a meal out of that job. Right, next one we're going to is a Worcester, which, well, she says it's taken 7 times to light, which I doubt that should have gone to lockout after 5. Well, anyway, it's taken 7 times to light. It's an old CDI, not a Green Star. So it's more than likely going to be the electrodes, but it could be anything really. Hopefully get some footage of that one, but she is a watcher, so I might not. It would make a good video though for you people that like your repairs. We'll see.